When the battery disconnects and there's no other battery in the circuit to absorb the output of the alternators, you'll blow the alternate diodes.
Hello and welcome to another one of our Ask the Expert sessions here at BoatHowTo. We're Nigel and Jan, and today's question is: what's the best way to hook my two existing alternators to my new drop-in lithium iron phosphate batteries? In my case, the alternators are stock, internally regulated 60 amp units. Okay, well...
At BoatHowTo, we don't like drop-in lithium-ion batteries just because of these kinds of issues. You need some kind of communication between the batteries and the charging units so that you don't get a situation, for example, where the battery is starting to get overcharged and the battery management system disconnects the battery from the boat at a very inconvenient moment. And if in this case your alternators are running, when the battery disconnects and there's no other battery in the circuit to absorb the output of the alternators, you'll blow the alternate diodes. So you'll wreck both alternators. Given the situation we've got here, you don't want the alternators connected directly back to the lithium-ion batteries, just because of that risk of a disconnect and destroying the alternators. So essentially, we probably need to feed them to maybe a lead-acid battery and then have a battery-to-battery charger, which has an appropriate charging algorithm for the lithium-ion battery that will then feed that charging current into the lithium-ion battery. One way or another, those lithium-ion batteries may disconnect, and we need to think about what happens if they do and make sure that we don't do a lot of damage on the boat.
And another issue is also if you directly connect it, even if the BMS is not disconnecting, it might actually blow up your alternator because they take so much charge current that it will, and the alternator is not rated to run at full output the whole time.
That's a really good point, Jan. And in fact, years ago, Yanmar, when you could get an optional 120 amp alternator on their engines, but when people started putting lithium-ion batteries in their boats, they started to fry some of those alternators. So then Yanmar sent round a directive that if you have lithium-ion batteries, you have to find a means of derating their alternators down to 75%, because of this fact that they can go to wide open output for hours at a time, technically, with a large lithium-ion battery bank, and it fries the alternators. So that's another reason for having some control mechanism between the charging devices and the batteries, so that you can manage the amount of current that you're putting into the batteries. And if you've got fancy alternators with external regulators, they almost always come down with an option for a temperature sensor at the alternator, and you need to install the temperature sensors. And then if the lithium-ion batteries start to drive the alternator too hard, the temperature sensor will cause the voltage regulator to back off and protect the alternator.
All right, so you see it's not that simple, and the term drop-in is something that's kind of a misnomer. So if you want to learn more about, well, properly connecting lithium-ion batteries on your boat, and also all these kind of different charging ideas between a B2B charger or paralleling relays or all these kind of things, check out our courses on boat electrics or marine electrics at boathowto.com, and see you soon.